So holiday spending expected to be up. I find that a little surprising, Mike. I'm wondering, you know, I feel like middle class, lower class individuals, it's rough out there right now.
Yeah,
There are a lot of
absolutely.
factors. We don't need to get into it. I think if you're alive in the
Yeah.
U.S., you sort of understand what's going on with the economy right now.
hmm
So I'm wondering, like, is this the richest 1 or 2% of individuals driving the spending? Like, are they going to have a big uptick? And that's kind of what is pushing this over the edge. You look a little skeptical.
It's an interesting thought. It's an interesting thought and would make the most rational sense.
Mm-hmm.
My only thing is that we are not rational animals, Ryan.
Well, maybe you aren't.
Well, okay.
I'm the level-headed producer.
Well, we'll get into it after the cameras stop rolling. But no, I mean, historically, we've seen that spending, especially in the upper crust of our economy, doesn't really correlate to capital, injection. Like, jobs go up when there's a demand, not when, somebody gets an extra $200 million. It just doesn't work that way. Extra money does not mean extra spending, historically speaking, in that upper 1 or 2%. But there is something else in history that I think may be at play right now.
Interesting.
Yes. So in 2008, Leonard Lauder, one of the co-founders of Estee Lauder, saw that despite the recession, despite the kind of meltdown financially that we experienced in the second half of that year, that his lipstick sales went up. And, you extrapolate that across other things that I would call little luxuries. And there is actually historical data that suggests that in tough, uncertain, rough times, humans who should rationally be cutting down their spending actually find those little bits of resources they have to help themselves existentially, emotionally. Like, retail therapy is a very real thing, and unfortunately, it doesn't correlate to good or bad economic times. So I have a suspicion that something like that might be going on here. I don't want to get much bleaker, but, I know for myself, buying a house when I was 15, that was like, yeah, by the time I'm like 25, 30, I'll get a job, then you get a house. That is not really the economic reality anymore.
Yeah.
So there might be just less saving for big ticket items and more spending on things that make you happy in the moment. That is my 2 cents. What are you thinking about?
Well, there's a layer here that you got me thinking about. The story goes on to note that Adobe expects significant discounts this holiday season, up to 28% off listed price, on par with the 2024 season. Discounts for both electronics and toys are expected to be nearly 30% off. The deeper discounts are expected to land throughout Cyber Week, with Cyber Monday being the, quote, last call for the best deals, according to Adobe. So even for a financially, a fiscally responsible, I don't want to say fiscally responsible, even for a financially minded consumer who wants to make sure that they're spending responsibly, this could be an opportunity to kind of cash in when there's a discount out there. If you know you want to buy a certain product and you know it's going to be on sale, that's the time to buy it, right? Like,
Absolutely.
So might be something to that. But the real question is, this is all interesting data. I find it a bit surprising. You not so much. Our listeners probably split that way too. But I guess the real question is like, what does this mean for marketers?
That is, and I'm glad you asked that question. It's what we always got to come back to here on OnScope, the marketing podcast. So here's my mind of it. Like, because what I just said is some speculation, is just some thoughts bouncing around in my head. Please do not take that as gospel, listeners. But so if you're more of the mind that maybe the upper crust of our economy is spending more because they've, got a little bit of a cash influx, then you should be looking at your premium products and services and seeing how you can really pump up the volume on getting those out there. If you subscribe a little bit to the lipstick theory and are thinking that it's just kind of that working class middle chunk of America that is doing this increased spending, then yeah, that discount area, like the numbers said that Cyber Week is actually a full percentage up above the general holiday season.
Right.
This is a huge, massive opportunity. It always is, but I think you might actually want to pay even more attention than you already are on those 5 key days coming up for this final fiscal quarter.
Yeah, I think it might be time to goose the marketing budget. Q4 historically has always been the time when businesses make the most money.
Yep.
If you're a little behind on your projections for the year right now, Adobe's saying the spending's going to be going up over the next few months. And so I think it's a good time for you to get your brand out there and try to capitalize on this.